Tartan Tastebuds is a show from a state of mind that samples those taste buds associated with bonny Scotland. I'm Paul John Dykes, and this week I'm joined by the host of Blathert, Sean McDonald. Will Sean enjoy the Scottish cuisine on offer? Let's join him on Tartan Tastebuds to find out. Sean McDonald, welcome to Tartan Tastebuds. This is the show that samples your Tartan Tastebuds, the tasty bonny Scotland.
I'm a wee bit nervous. What's coming out here?
Who knows? Could be anything.
You're lifting it, let's see.
You ready for dish number one?
Right. Oh,
Now, we need to ask you first and foremost, you got a sweet tooth?
I have, aye. And I hate when anybody asks me what's your favourite here, because it's like being asked to choose between your kids, if I had any. Aye, that's probably the perfect thing I could have seen. Right, what we having then?
Well, it's up to you. The choice is yours. I think that already that speaks volumes. I mean, if you go for dark chocolate, you're in my kind of bus. But 6 million of these bad boys are sold in Scotland every single week, which would suggest that there is a bit of an epidemic in Scotland when it comes to sugar.
Aye.
Why are in?
I used to work for a finance company, and we used this accountants, and it was across the road for the tonics factory. And I used to always just make sure I get invited to any meetings because they would have like boxes of these. I must have developed diabetes for that. I'm going to eat this.
So, on the one hand, Scots love a bit of sugar and a sugar rush. On the other hand, you obviously keep yourself fit. And how do you manage to balance the two of them? Can you have a wee bit of this vice in your life but still be fit and healthy?
Absolutely. I mean, I eat chocolate every day, sweeties every day. But I think that's probably why I try and keep myself fit. I think you need to. And I think the longer you go without having it, if I go like a week or two, I end up having just this mad almighty binge, and I'm like, that I would have been as well, just having one or two of these every day. No, I'm a massive fan of sweets and chocolate.
Do you eat meat? Are you a vegetarian?
Not a vegetarian. I did try the vegan thing. Have you ever done that?
No. Yeah.
I did it like everybody. I watched a Netflix documentary and went, oh, this sounds quite good. I think it lasted like 2 weeks or something. Meat every day and sweets every day. Really, I should probably be in worse nick than I am, but meat every day.
No, well, when we're looking at the Scottish diet, another big part of the Scottish psyche is, of course, football, Sean, and we were kind of caught in the grasp of football fever during Euro 2020. What was the main point that you look back on, the pivotal moment of that tournament for a Scotsman?
Oh man, where did I think the first one that springs to mind has got to be the goal that Callum McGregor scored, obviously the only goal. I thought it was very reminiscent of his goal against Motherwell in the 2018 Cup final. And just when it was landing him, I kind of had that image, but I didn't think it was actually going to go in. I watched it at the Euro fan zone, and just for that moment alone, it's quite tin pot if you think about it. Like the highlight for me was just one single goal, but I don't remember ever celebrating Scotland scoring a goal at a tournament. I was like 7 and I lived in England when we played at France 98,
right?
So I vaguely remember John Collins' goal. I don't really remember kind of what was happening. So I mean, that was it for me. I suppose also the final whistle going at Wembley and feeling really proud that we'd done so well. I think we should have beat them. I'm kind of gutted that we never, but we're the only team that they couldn't beat, apart from Italy, obviously.
See, when you're watching a big tournament like this, are you part of the anyone but England brigade, or?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's a funny one because I'm torn. Like, see, when Rashford missed his penalty, I was gutted for him because he's such a nice guy. And when you actually go through that whole team, I'm like, I think I like almost every single one of them. A team of good guys, a team of good players. I like the unity that they've got. You know, like you always hear the so-called golden generation are talking about the reason England never won anything because they were completely at odds with each other, like Chelsea, Liverpool, Man U, Arsenal. They all kind of sat in their wee groups. Modern football is kind of different, and I think players don't have that proper tribal allegiance to their club anymore. That's obviously to the benefit of the England team. I really like them, and it sounds really contradictory because I still want them to lose, but kind of I don't take as much pleasure out of them losing. But no, it's their fans and the media. I don't want to see them ever have any happiness whatsoever because, like, I couldn't be dealing with it. But I totally. What about you?
I'm not like, when I was watching the final, I wanted Italy to win. I've always been a fan of Italy. I think they do things right, the stylish fashion, football.
Aye.
So I would have found it difficult to support England against Italy. But I don't have this inherent hatred.
No, I don't hate them. I'm the same. I don't hate them. I've got loads of English pals. I'm down in England all the time. I don't hate them at all. But it's football, and it kind of frustrates me. Like, see the whole debate. It's not even a debate. It's like these middle class media commentators that aren't actually invested in football in any way, demanding or trying to create some sort of controversy that we don't want them to win. That so. You tell me you're going to say to a Man U fan, well, that's you knocked out the Champions League, but you need to support Liverpool now because geographically they're quite close to you. It's not how it works. No, you think Millwall are going to support Chelsea when they're playing in Europe? It just doesn't work that way. But no, I think you can quite clearly draw the line, and you can be desperate for England to lose at every given opportunity, but not hate the English. Like, I want Rangers to lose at everything they do. But it doesn't mean I then hate all my Rangers supporting pals. Like, there is a line. I think the people that try and blur those lines, they've got their own sort of weird agenda. It's kind of clear for everybody to see.
Absolutely. I think looking at that final though, the finals tournament, like you say, they're first since 1998. We want to get back to that point where we're always competing. Do you think that's possible for Scotland?
I think it is possible as long as we've got some sort of continuity going forward. I think, like I was talking about this the other day, I think people underestimate the value of experience in a tournament, and they underestimate the how difficult it is to be inexperienced in a tournament because it can overawe you, just the occasion. And I think the next time that if we do get to a tournament, hopefully we're going to get to Qatar next December, that the players will kind of be like, we've done this before, like we'll just turn up and play our game and, play the game and don't play the occasion. I think also the players having more experience playing with each other, a wee bit more connectivity and fluidity in the team and they're playing. I just that sort of collective experience as well with how they play, and then going out and being a more dominant force against sides. But I think the future's looking good because it's a young squad as well. Players that are now coming to playing at the top of their game, playing in England. You even get Aaron Hickey playing in Italy again, but a left back.
Exactly.
That's pure typical, isn't it? That is. So we've got 3 left backs that are like the potential to really be with the first. I mean, I think Robertson and Tierney are world class, and what's to say Hickey can get there as well, playing in Italy. But that's just pure typical Scotland. But no, I think the future's looking good, and they're obviously playing well under the manager and responding to him in so many ways. So who knows?
Another thing I missed, Sean, was the Novelty singles. Every time that you get to the finals, there's a single, but you were involved in the La Fontaine video.
I absolutely loved that. Right, so it's just the usual, right? The usual. Are you allowed to swear on this?
Of course.
Right, so the usual fucking pish for the same arseholes on the internet. It was a joke, right? So first of all, because I'm pals with Kerr, who's the lead singer, and they wrote it as a joke. It was literally a piss take. It was a catchy wee tune, and people were absolutely slaughtering it. Then Kieran Tierney came out and said, we've been playing it in the dressing room. Oh, all of a sudden everybody then loves it. So just like make your own mind up. Young people look to see like what are other people saying about this, and what's the most popular opinion that is going to get me the most traction, and I'm just going to run with that. That was great being part of that, and I was the only person who didn't use a CGI ball. I used a real ball at the end.
Proper skills.
That's it, mate. That was great to be part of that. I was playing so many, like at loads of the tunes. I think the best one ever is We Have a Dream. What was that? Was that 86?
It was the 1980s, maybe even 82.
Was it? Right, so We Have a Dream was the best. I also think, see the Delamitri one for 98? That gets a hard time. Did you watch Mr. Brown's Boys?
No, I didn't.
So it was by the way well worth a watch, and it was interviewing the players and Craig Brown and stuff that were obviously at the tournament, and they kind of loads of unseen footage and behind the scenes stuff. It was brilliant. And Colin Hendry was absolutely slaughtering Delamitri Don't Come Home Too Soon. I just don't think he understood it. He's like, what kind of fucking message was that? And it's like, mate, it was encouraging. Like, I guess it's a great song.
It was a decent tune. Was it done at Prestwick Airport?
It was, aye. And it was, do you remember I think it was the advert for Brazil for 98, when it's for Nike, and they're playing football in the airport, and then Ronaldo hits the post. and I don't know if it's Henry, maybe, who else should have been, maybe Darren Jackson, and it goes in, so it was like a kind of send up of that. I absolutely loved it, I thought it was brilliant. But I wish they should bring out like a proper tune, get the La Fontaines to do it again.
Aye, definitely. Now, obviously showed your skills in the video. Were you a bit of a player back in the day, Sean?
It was alright. I played for like Motherwell, Dunfermline, Partick Thistle and stuff, and a few Celtic training camps. I loved it. I kind of felt, I think I got to about 16, 17 and was like, nah. I didn't like the way the fun was taken at it. I like 2 hours a night training with Stenhousemuir and like at Cumbernauld, doing shape and not actually kicking a ball and all that. And I was like, this just isn't for me. But still love playing. I played with Michael Collins FC in Barcelona. I'll give you 2 guesses as to why I chose to play with him. Playing the green and white hoops. But I've actually not played for quite a while. I need to get back to playing fives, playing sevens. Actually, you do thing me, you set up games, don't you?
I do, yes.
Aye, count me in.
Absolutely.
I'm in next time.
You're in the next game. It's on camera, you've got to do it.
Aye, Chris McQueen was saying that Rudy Vata absolutely slaughtered him all the way through it.
Oh yes.
What was that all about?
Rudy Vata is a hard man to please, right? So you're playing a bounce game, Sean, but it's a World Cup final.
Aye.
So I played a man on side and he destroyed me. Called me every useless fanny under the sun. And there was a wee guy in the changing room who had paid to play and he was a goalkeeper.
Aye.
But Vata had given him such a hard time, he asked me if I could play in goals in the second half.
Sake.
He was trembling. So
His son's playing in their development squad now,
yes.
Is he a good player?
Apparently so. Although when I said to Rudy Vata, I've heard your son's a really promising talent, he goes, oh, he's alright.
Aye.
He's a hard man to please.
Aye, there you go.
But you'll see that when you play with him.
Aye, I will. I'll try and avoid him.
Brilliant.
Wherever he is, I'll play the other side.
Want another dish?
Aye, let's go.
Let's do it. So Sean, dish number 2, based off Scotland, and it is the world famous national drink.
Irn-Bru. I was panicking that you were going to hit me with whiskey. See, if where was I? I was in a Celtic pub in town, and somebody got me a Jameson's whiskey, and I thought you were meant to shot it. And it was like that. It was massive. And I spent about 30 minutes trying not to spew, just like everything was spinning.
I'm not a big whiskey fan.
No.
I've got to admit, Sean, I don't know anybody who could like enjoy it, because for me it's a taste that you grimace when you.
I think it tastes like antiseptic.
There's people watching this thinking you're not a true Scotsman
No,
for saying
no,
that, but
absolutely hate it. That's in Spain. They always going about it. Oh, whiskey! Yeah, I'm like, I've never drank whiskey in my life. But I was at a party a few weeks ago. My pals get a barbers, and I'm kind of giving the game away here. Well, we were out and we went back to his barbers. There's nowhere else to go, and all he had was whiskey, and it was horrible. And he kept saying, "Do you know what this means?" He kept saying, "You need to chew it. You need to chew it." And I was like, "Mate, you've heard somebody say that. You don't know what it means, and you're not telling me." I was like, "What does that mean?" Like that. Actually, I still don't know what it means. Absolutely horrible. It tasted like antiseptic. Have I to drink this?
take a wee taste.
Right.
On the subject of alcohol, Sean, is this a bona fide after effects cure?
No.
A hangover cure?
See, when I've been drinking, I feel like something's weird. Nothing tastes right. Food tastes horrible, and Irn-Bru doesn't taste right. And I don't like to associate it. Like people who drink it with vodka, I'm like, what are you up to? Because that just will ruin it for me. Nothing can tarnish this because I love it. Although I kind of tend to stick to diet because I don't like what they've done to the stuff.
So this is the 1901.
I like that. I do like it, but again, it's still different. Why not? Why not just make it? Like,
I know.
People would pay for it.
Absolutely. Stick to that.
It does taste better though.
Yeah, that recipe, the classic recipe.
Right.
How would you describe it? You've got friends obviously in Spain. How would you describe Irn-Bru to your pals over in Spain?
I don't know. Honest to God, I don't know. That's the thing I always say. I'm like, there's nothing that it tastes like. They always kind of say, oh, it tastes like bubble gum. I'm like, I don't know if it does.
There's a gingery.
Aye,
in the back of the throat.
it's so strange. Do you know where it's really popular? Russia.
Is that right?
It's massive in Russia because it's very similar to a drink that was made in the Soviet era, which is now discontinued, and they go absolutely mad for it. My pal was working in Russia, I didn't know what he was doing, but they were travelling by bus. He said they're going through like deepest, darkest Russia. They're driving for like 8 hours at a time, and they saw this tiny wee shop, and he's homesick and all. This was years ago. This was like 10 years ago. He's pure homesick, and he's just absolutely hating life. And he went into this wee shop, and there's like 2 fridges and a couple of wee shelves, and he's like, "Is that an Irn-Bru fridge?" It's like a full Irn-Bru fridge, but Irn-Bru's written in Russian, and it's absolutely massive over there. So I don't know if like they've bought like I don't know the rights to it to make it or something. How mental is that? It's huge in Russia. You can't get it in Canada because of the colourings, and then we just kind of drink it freely. I think we're the only country in the world where Coca-Cola's now the #1 selling drink.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love it. They sent. I shouldn't have slagged them because I've started realising, see if I mention stuff on Blathert, they'll send you it.
I saw that.
Mentioned tenants and they sent me a mad package and mentioned Irn-Bru. So I'm going to start being like, Range Rover to me are the best. I thought they'll maybe send me like a wee model, a wee toy.
Send us something for the fridge. We get sent nothing, mate. Nothing except
Really?
for abuse.
Well, here we go. Send something. Irn-Bru, send something.
Dalkeith.
Tenants.
Yeah, there we go. We spoke about Spain. Why does your heart lie in Spain? What is it about Spain that attracts you?
I don't know. The first time I went, would I have been like 10 or 11? I just loved it. I was really fascinated by the language. I remember being 17 and going to Santa Ponza on like a boys' holiday with my pals for 2 weeks and being pure near tears when I was leaving. And I think that was a mix of having a great time but also just 2 weeks of boozing had wiped me out and I was a bit fragile. But I've just always absolutely loved the place. And then after moving when I was 22, and I suppose because I grew up there in a sense, kind of becoming an adult. Spent most of my adult life there, which is quite a surreal thing. And it'll always be home. I need to get back soon actually. I need to sort out my paperwork post Brexit, which is quite annoying. Yeah. But I feel fortunate that I've got the right to live there because I can get an ID card, which means I can travel on that as well, which means bypassing the mental queues.
See, when you've got an affinity with a certain place, I mean, you're obviously born in a country by default, you're brought up because of your parents. Is Spain that place for you, Sean?
I think so, the place that I have got the real affinity to. Well, I mean, obviously, like, home is home. And see, when I'm away, I can't win, because when I'm away, I'm just pure greeting to be back in Scotland. And when I'm in Scotland, I'm like, gotta get me back to Spain. So it's nice to have that kind of pull. But I don't know, there is just something. Although I have to say, like, Catalonia is very different for Spain, because when you then go to, like, Madrid or even down to Valencia, you kind of notice the differences in the people and the way of life and stuff, but I do just love it. And the weather has to play a big part, to be honest. It's sunny like 300 days a year or something. Like it's rarely cloudy, it's always warm. Excuse me, in January and stuff, sometimes you can hit like 20 degrees and all that, which is just, like, imagine that here. Literally the weather we've got today, you can be getting that at Christmas time. And I think that's just for me, I'm like, that's how I want to be living my life.
It's good for the state of mind,
It is, it really is. Everything just, I don't know, it's just a better way of life. It really is. I don't mean if you're badmouth Scotland, I love it, but I just love the way kind of things are done. I like, people always kind of moan about the whole mañana, lo hacemos mañana attitude, but I think they've got the right idea, because they're like, I don't live to graft for some company, like I don't live to stress myself, like it'll be done when it's done. And it's frustrating, like for example, when I'm now going to be sitting in a police station for 3 days to get my documentation done, I'll be absolutely slaughtering them, saying, why can they not be more like Scotland or Germany? But for the rest of the time, I absolutely love it. It's because it's given me so much, and I can't wait to go back, to be honest. It'll be nice to be able to split my time again once this COVID carry-on is finished. I feel like I say that all the time.
It will happen though, mate.
We will get there, eventually.
You ready for another dish?
Let's go.
I've no idea what's in here.
Right.
So,
do you want me to open it and see?
You go for it.
Right.
Go for it. Okay.
Right, hold on. I'm panicking here. I mean, it looks like a battered sausage.
One bite's all it takes.
But I was scared it was going to be a deep fried Mars bar. Oh, wait a minute, is that haggis? I think it is.
Looks like haggis. Is it haggis?
I don't know if I think it is. Is that haggis or sausage?
White pudding.
Is it white pudding?
White pudding, there you go. Now,
it's nice.
Do you associate white pudding with Scotland?
No.
Is that a Scottish dish?
Well, sorry. That must be minging for anybody that had to listen to that. Me if you're chewing that, sorry. I didn't even know white pudding was a thing. I know you could get fruit pudding.
Yes.
I love black pudding. But see, black pudding's also, I know, here he goes again, going on about Spain all the time. But it's one of the most popular dishes in Spain, but it's called morcilla, and you get it in all different forms, and it's absolutely amazing. I love black pudding, I feel like I could just eat it all the time. But it's pig's blood, cow's blood.
Cow's blood, yeah.
That's disgusting, isn't it, when you actually think about it?
Tastes good.
It tastes amazing.
See, if you were in a chippy, what would you go for?
Usually go for a fish supper, because it's just in Novelty, I suppose, because you can't really get that anywhere else like that, the way that a chippy makes it. But also like a half pizza supper, like a black pudding supper. I'm a total fat guy, like trying to break out like at any given moment. I love a chippy, and I have to get hundreds of vinegar. And I'll be like, gonna do me a favour, put loads and loads of vinegar on that. And I'm like, see, when you think you put enough on, you haven't. So scoosh more. I could eat a chippy every single day. I do feel terrible after it, but I would go for everything. Also, see when I'm drunk, chips, cheese and gravy. They gave me hundreds of vinegar. It sounds disgusting,
what about
but
a pickled egg? Would you have a wee chaser?
a pickled egg? I don't think I've ever had a pickled egg.
Oh, you've got to do it.
I went through a wee phase of liking a pickle in my chippy, but Scotland is so good for food. There's bad food.
What about haggis?
Love haggis, absolutely love it. Whether it's out the chippy or just kind of normal, I think people that don't like it, I think they're weird. I think they should be excommunicated for the country, personally.
I'd agree with that.
Aye.
Blathert, you like a blather? Now,
Yep.
where's it going? It's been one of these things, you see it in lists, Sean, you can see how it's grown, which is tremendous, and every time I see that, I'm delighted for you, because I like people to be a success. Where are you taking it next?
Well, I'm really enjoying it kind of the way it is. I like to kind of just keep it. People keep saying, put it on YouTube and stuff, and I'm like, that's great, and I enjoy watching stuff on YouTube. I'm like, that's not really for me. What I want to keep doing is keep finding really interesting guests. Like I find the big name guests are great, like people like Martin Compston, Gordon Smart and Jim White and all that, and they're really interesting, and it's quite exciting as well to talk to these people. But I love talking to people that you just kind of wouldn't know, or kind of getting those stories, and I want to keep finding those, kind of keep my ear to the ground. It's now a registered company. I've got good sponsorship deals and advertising and stuff, which makes it easier to kind of kick it up a level in terms of creating more content. I don't want to just create more just for the sake of it, but properly good content, to be able to spend time and put my full focus on that. But I've got like Transmit coming up. I'm presenting the backstage interviews and coverage at Transmit. So like speaking with the headliners every day, doing that with Laura Boyd for STV, which will be good. And Blathert, it's the official podcast for Transmit actually. So I've got like Amy McDonald, the Snuts. I've asked them to ask Rita Ora. There's no harm in asking. It's their festival. They're like, oh, I don't know, she might not be up for it. I'm like, well, tell her. Tell her she's dead. Just tell her that's part of the thing. But that's been good, and it's just the right people are hearing it. People feel like certain networks and stuff, but I'd like to just kind of keep it going. Like for me, that's my bread and butter, and it's what I enjoy most, and it's mine. Like if I'm doing stuff for the BBC or like was on Good Morning Britain, I kind of need to dance to like their tune, whereas I decide how long it's going to be, like what we're talking about, how it's edited, who I'm speaking to, and I want to just keep growing that. And it's grown nicely, like numbers are going up nicely each month, but my primary focus is, am I enjoying it? And see, as long as I'm enjoying it, I think other people then enjoy it, because they can hear that coming through. So I would like to, kind of boring answer, but just keep it going as it is.
See, the thing is, you bare your soul, Sean, when you do something like what you're doing, right? You put yourself out there. And you put yourself out there as a target for people online.
Aye.
How do you deal with the negative?
Just ignore it. It honestly doesn't bother me. It used to kind of get under my skin, because you'd be a bit like, hold on a minute, like I don't know you, I've not thought about you. Why are you getting so raging at my existence? You kind of come to realise it's not me, it's them. I'm really fortunate. Like 99.9% interactions I get are good, and when there is, of course it kind of stings you a wee bit, because you're taken aback and you're like, the fuck? Like I'm just waking up and I'm getting this off of some random who I don't even know. But it really is, it's their problem, that's not mine. The people that are in my life like me and know what I'm all about and stuff, so some person I've never met, their opinion doesn't register, doesn't bother me. That just comes with experience, so that took like probably 2 years.
Yeah.
It just washes off, People are just desperate for, I don't know, it's weird, isn't it?
It's like they need the attention.
Oh, definitely. They need some sort of attention or validation or interaction or engagement. It's actually quite, because I realised as well, when you reply to some, they get this wee buzz. You're like, why are you getting a buzz off of? Like, I'm just another guy in the street, essentially. Why are you getting a wee buzz off of me replying? Yeah, just ignore it. It really, they're wasting their time. It doesn't bother me, but it does take for experience, really.
Aye, definitely.
Just to kind of get past that. And it's a shame, probably would stop some people for making stuff or doing something that they could potentially be good at. And I understand why, because you probably think, fuck that, like,
I know.
not putting myself in that
Don't
fire.
need the
Like.
hassle.
But happens to everybody.
Just you imagine, Sean, the next time somebody gives you flack, you're the guy getting asked to come here and eat white pudding.
Exactly, I know.
Right. Didn't even know it was white pudding.
They'll be absolutely sick jealous at that. But
You take that home with you, by the way.
I will, I'll just put it in my pocket, I'll have it on the way up the road.
You fancy something else?
Aye, let's go.
Let's do it. You ready for this?
I think so, let's go. Oh, this could be anything.
It could be anything. Now, Pat and Evan thought it was port.
Oh, fuck. Oh, it's Bucky. See, I don't drink it, I know that. Do you ever drink it?
No.
I think you're either one or the other. I'm a Mad Dog man.
Right?
Aye, although
flavours?
that's, well, started orange, I like that pineapple one, the newest one. Quite like the electric melon. I'm kind of sickening myself with it a wee bit. Do you know I've never even tried it.
Well, this in itself is worth seeing then. What is the reaction to the first taste?
Right. This is,
the bucket.
genuinely never tried it.
Is it as bad as everybody says?
No, that's not for me.
What does it taste like? Is it kind of like a port taste?
I don't know what pork tastes like, but I would say it tastes like red wine with loads of sugar added to it.
Aye. Plenty of caffeine. And again, it's not Scottish
that's rotten.
of origin. It's just become
We've
synonymous.
adopted it.
Yes. Why is that, do you think? Why is the youth in Scotland, not even the youth, certain generations have adopted it?
I honestly can't understand why anybody likes it. I heard it's got the same amount of caffeine either as 16 or 24 cans of Red Bull. That's insane. Like, no wonder people go absolutely apeshit when they drink it. No, that's not for me. I don't know why we've adopted it. But I didn't realise Mad Dog was American.
Is it?
Aye. I was in Tampa Bay, and I still hadn't. And actually, I think it says product of NY USA. I just never noticed. I've always been too pissed when I've drank it, and went into an off license in Tampa Bay, and like their off sales are like, I don't know, like Disneyland for I don't want to say alkies, but it's like Disneyland for people that drink. And there's a wall and there's all sorts of flavours, and I'm texting my pals like, you'll never believe this, I've got Mad Dog here, and they were saying, well, it's American. They had all sorts of flavours, but I can't understand why. I think it's absolutely minging. I don't know if it's just, some sort of cult hero status that it's got.
It's got a kind of cult image in Scotland, but why do you think it is in Scotland that there is that culture amongst the youth of not just today but generations gone past, Sean, where it's all about getting bevied with your mates? And is it something that we can change, or is it part and parcel of Scotland?
I don't know if it's ingrained in the psyche. You know how, like, they say, was it the Roman Empire stretched all over Europe and into Africa and towards the Far East. They conquered England, and then when they got to Scotland, they went, they're fucking mental, and they built the Antonine Wall or Hadrian's Wall to keep us from getting in. So not even like they came up and kind of went, nah, just kind of leave them up there. They're like just a step too nuts, and maybe that's just passed down through the generations. I don't know. We have got quite an unhealthy relationship with alcohol. Like I have at times as well. Everybody does it. It's never just go and have a few drinks and enjoy it. It's more, let's get absolutely blitzed and blazing. I don't know. Not to get too deep about it. Probably people sometimes drink a lot of the time to forget reality. and that then obviously when you couple booze with beer unhappy, it's a bad mix. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't think it'll ever change, to be honest. I don't see it ever changing. Maybe there's something to do with now, like in places like in the continent, it's normal for even kids at 13 or 14 to have a glass of wine and a beer.
Yeah.
And it's when it's like, no, you're not allowed to drink, this is our thing, and then it's, I don't know, kids kind of want to have it a bit more. I didn't actually really start drinking till I was about 17, 18. I never did the whole drinking on the street thing, and it never appealed to me. But everybody I know did, and got them into quite a bit of trouble. But I don't see it. I don't see that ever changing.
Do you think it was a football that might have kept you on the straight and narrow?
Probably, aye. Even there was a thing called the Street League, so I would be playing on a Saturday and a Sunday, but on a Friday night from 8 till 10 or 10 till 12, they would put on fives tournaments, and I just enjoyed playing football that much. So I was like, I'd rather play, and all my mental pals would just be running the side of the pitch, boozing.
Drinking that stuff.
Aye, drinking that. It's I definitely kept me in the straight and narrow. I think that's good for kids. Like if I ever have kids, I'll try and guide them towards that and to have some other interest. Otherwise, I could see the appeal. Everybody's all drinking, having a good time, but if you don't have anything to kind of focus yourself, I'm like that now as an adult. If I don't have something on, the temptation to just go out and have a good time is far too much. But I was lucky that I had something to kind of keep my attentions focused.
So we're wrapping up your white pudding, but not the bucky.
I know that can stay. That's not for me. I can't believe that's the first time I've ever tried that, actually. I think I took like a drop on my tongue when I was like 14. I was like, that is absolutely rotten. People drink it with milk.
Wow.
Aye, that's weird, isn't it?
I've seen the sauce, and I think an ice cream exists.
Is there? No,
Yeah.
no, it's minging. But it's so mad, like the sort of cross generation and cross demographic of people that drink it. Like I know a doctor and his wife is also a doctor, and they sit and have a wee glass of it at night, which I just think is the funniest thing ever. Like imagine them going to like buy a bottle of it.
I know.
It's
It's not even that cheap now.
oh, how much is it? Like £10 or something?
Well, I remember when I was younger, it was £3.60 an
Really?
Well,
Them monks must be absolutely loaded.
I know.
What are they doing with the money?
They've done all right.
Where is that money going?
They're reinvesting it.
Cutting about in Range Rovers and getting jets to like Vegas and all that.
I know.
Fair play to them. I wish it was me.
Last dish. You ready for it?
Yeah, let's go.
Can't get worse than that, mate.
No, that's brutal.
Sean, we come to the final dish. You've already managed 4. Who knows what's in here?
Let's see.
It's another delight from the local chippy.
This is what I suspected or feared was coming. I've never tried. So this is
a new experience.
This is an experience. This is a deep fried Mars bar. So see, now I'm not going to be able to monitor people. See when you're like down south and some wee guy called like Tarquin or something's like, did you have the deep fried Mars bar? I'm like, mate, shut up. Like that doesn't exist. Like nobody's ever had that.
And here it is.
This is pretty nuts. Do you know I'm going to be raging if I enjoy it? Because I'm always like,
You might enjoy it.
I always say, nah mate, it's a stereotype and it's a false cliche. This is weird. It actually smells alright.
Aye.
Let's see.
I think it's more like a dessert.
I'm pissed off because that's really nice. Have you ever had one before?
Only in here. I think I could have it with ice cream.
That's lovely.
Aye, it's like a
That's
dessert.
like a kind of crepe.
I know.
Oh, I'm raging.
It's really annoying, eh?
That is really annoying. So I was like, it doesn't exist. Like people don't actually eat these things. I'm going to end up eating this all in.
Go for it.
I'm going to need to go for like a pure 5 mil
Go
run.
for it, mate.
What I don't get, I know it is kind of melted, but it actually still looks, I don't know if you can see that, but it still looks like a Mars bar on the inside. How does it know?
What else would you try it with? Would you try it with a Snickers or Toffee Crisp?
I'll try it with Twix.
Good shit.
That'd be quite nice. This is absolutely beautiful.
It's too good.
But I'm assuming it's only some places you can get it.
We have to request this. Why Scotland? Sean, why Scotland?
We always take things too far, don't we? It's like, how can we make this worse? Like, Mars bars aren't that good for you. I don't know what.
Chuck them in the fryer.
I deep fry them. We deep fry everything. So the whole thing we used to we sang to the Italy fans, deep fry your pizzas. This is grotesque and all, but that is honestly so nice.
It is too good.
That's
too
beautiful.
Good. We've been talking about Scotland, the heritage, the traditions. During the Euros, you were on the TV. So obviously the success of Blathert and all the work you've done is moving into different avenues. Talk to us a wee bit about that and the fact that, for example, you've been asked to model football kits. I've seen you speaking to mainstream broadcasters. It's bringing a lot of work and attention your way as well.
Aye. If anybody sees this, I'm not going on TV again tonight. I'll get Mars bar all over my teeth. It's been great. Like doing the thing with Celtic was really exciting. Because even like for the 10-year-old me, if I'd have known that one day I'd be one of the first people to wear all the strips and see them and see that the new away one that's got the badge in the middle.
Did you have to try that one on as well?
I did all three.
I've seen that one.
I did the home, the away, the third kit, training gear, hoodies. Filmed an advert for Adidas. That was really cool. Got to narrate it. Me, Callum McGregor, my pal Kiara Kelly was in it. That Jacinta, the thing me. So I'll show you. It's really cool. And that was great. But when I was telling people about that third strip, they didn't believe me. I was like, so it's pin stripes, but they're pink and green, and the badge is in the middle, and they're like, you're at the wind up, like, shut up. But that was great, because I got to go into Celtic Park, doing that at the same time as like other players and stuff. And I just getting to see it, that was cool. I like doing the TV stuff. They always seem to get me on to argue with Tories. And I called Richard Branson a weapon last night, that was quite funny. Because I said to the producer, I was like, is it alright to say weapon? Because I want to say Richard Branson's an absolute weapon. He's like, yeah, say it, it's fine. So that was quite funny. I really enjoy it. I love doing the TV stuff. Doing the stuff at Scotland HQ Live was great. That was hosted. That was like a 13-hour sort of marathon show. It was hosted by Lewis Irons. Like Gordon Smart, Jim Leishman was on it. Steve Clark was involved. Like, it was great because it was officially with the Scotland national team. And it's nice to be asked to do these things. And I must be doing something right because, you know, the time and time again they're kind of asking me to come on and to be involved, and it's now stepping up, and there's some sort of bigger shows and all that. There's a few shows I've kind of been so close to having a part in, and then for whatever reason they changed the format, or it kind of doesn't happen. But I feel like I'm going in the right direction, and it's important for me to kind of maintain credibility. Don't try and be shocking. Don't try and sort of, I don't know, do things to get clicks or to get attention, and to actually focus kind of on my craft of interviewing people, getting right into interviews, not making it about me, but still kind of showing, well, this is me, because I'm producing it, writing it, presenting it, editing it, and kind of putting it out there. There's no, like, I don't have a pure team behind me, or sort of people financially backing it or making it happen. And I think that's now, well, it's been recognised for a wee while, but it's nice for it to I don't know, to be getting up a few levels, and I just need to keep kind of going as I'm going, and I'm supposed to keep my feet in the ground as well.
It's great to see. And don't eat too many then.
No, that's the last one.
Stay off the bucky.
The bucky, it's like one of those things where I'm like, oh, I don't want to try this because my life will end up going down the pan. I'm just going to end up ordering 2 of these every single night. And you're responsible for my decline now.
You can treat your missus to a deep fried Mars bar, mate.
Honestly, I can't believe how nice it is. That's what she's getting. She's looking up the road. We've got 2 deep fried Mars bars. Come on in. I'm treating you tonight.
Try it, squishy cream.
Oh, don't, mate. It sounds amazing.
How have you enjoyed your Tartan Tastebuds experience?
It's been great. Thanks for having me. Just getting to sit and eat food and talk to my mates. I don't see any downsides here.
Absolutely brilliant. Thanks for joining us at State of Mind Studios.
Pleasure.